Hey all, Tony Bing here, and welcome to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now, in tonight's video we will have a look at a character I've had quite a lot of requests to cover. It's the one and only Incredible Hulk. Now in the video we start off by looking at where you go to unlock him, and also we check out his tags because that's relevant as to what campaign the character can work in. We then look at their stats. Next up we check out their abilities, and then we have a look at the synergies. This is the teams the character can work in, and also enemies that you want to avoid going up against as them. And then we finish up the video by seeing where they appear in the tier list that I've created as well. So first off, we'll have a look at a general overview including where you go to unlock and what tags they have. When it comes to unlocking Hulk, he really is quite unique in that in order to gain shards for him you have to complete achievements that are within the game. Now once you get to round about 5-star rank for him, it really does slow down, and I think possibly we may even require more achievements before we can push him up to 6-star, so just do be aware of that, you're not going to be able to get him as high as you can with some other characters. Now in regards to the actual achievements, I did do a video covering this, the ones that you want to concentrate on them to unlock them nice and quick. There's a link to that particular video in the description, so feel free to check that out. When we look at his tags, it's Hero, Global, Bio, Protector and Avenger. So he's a Protector, which means he's a tank character. I wasn't sure if he would end up being a Brawler or a Protector. He could actually be both of them because he's incredibly durable and he can put out a ton of damage, but the route they've went with in the game is that he's a Protector, so he's a tank. Now the other tag that's relevant here is the Avenger one, because in time I imagine we will have some kind of event where you're going to need a set amount of Avengers. So this is one that you can actually work on starting up, and you're doing it separate from all your other heroes because you get it through achievements. So in that respect he is quite nice. But what we'll check out next will be his stats. For the stats then, we look at these on a scale of A to F, and we look at 6 stats in total. So we've got 3 offensive stats and 3 defensive stats. So first up we'll check out the offensive stats. When it comes to the stats then, Hulk really has a bit of a mixed bag. He's either get really high stats or really low. Now the really high one we'll look at first would be his damage. This is way up at B, which is really pretty impressive for a Protector class. His speed is down at F, and he's actually got the slowest attack speed in the game. And in previous videos we've talked about tanks and how you want to find a happy medium with your speed. You want it to be round about C, maybe D at the lowest. The reason being that you're not too fast that your taunt drops off really quickly, but you're also quick enough that you can get moves and attacks in as well. You're not just going to get stun locked and be out of the battle, and that's something that sadly can happen to Hulk, and we'll look at that as the video does go on. The next offensive stat we cover is Focus. Now this is F, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't actually apply any kind of debuffs here. So the ones you want to concentrate on are the damage, which is really high, and the speed, which is really low. Now he also does have offense up and speed up in his kit, but that's dependent on him falling within 50% health, so it's not massively reliable, but it can help out a little bit. And I've also mentioned as well that even with the speed up, his speed is below 100, so he's still on the bottom end of the scale. I think he probably moves up to a D when you've got speed up on him, which gives him 50% more speed. He moves from something in the region of 60 up to 90, so he's still pretty slow there, but a bit better than 60 anyway. But next up we'll check out the defensive stats. When it comes to his defensive stats here then, he fares much better than he does offensively. So you've got health, which is up at A. The only 2 characters that actually beat him health pool wise would be Kingpin and the recently released Thanos, so his health pool can be absolutely huge. Armour is C, so that's relatively nice there. And then you've got his resistance way down at E. Now this isn't good because this means he is susceptible to debuffs, so if he gets slow on him, and how slow he is already, I've seen some characters get in 2 or 3 turns before Hulk even moves. Great if he's taunted, but it means he's not doing any damage, and if that taunt route is removed then he's just standing there for 3 turns doing nothing. So that's not good. Now, he also does have in his kit, I'll mention this relates to his defensive side of things, is he's got death proof when his health drops below 25%. That is something we'll talk about a bit more when we get to the abilities, and that's actually what we're going to look at next. We have 3 abilities we look at here then. We've got the basic, the special, the ultimate, and then we also have the passive as well. Now the tooltips that I'll bring up will showcase that show ability when it was fully maxed out, so you can see the full potential of the character. But as I'm talking about the abilities, I'll actually let you know if it's one that you want to max out, or if you maybe want to just park it at a lower level because you're not seeing as much gains for all the actual investment you have to make in regards to the materials for it. But the passive, which we look at first, this is always angry. So on dropping below 50% of max health, you gain speed up for 2 turns. On dropping below 25% of max health, you gain death proof. So that's some pretty nice buffs there. As mentioned earlier, even with the speed up, he's still on the slower side, but it almost gets him close to that sweet spot that you want for speed on a tank, so that can be helpful. I would max this out if you're really going to gear Hulk, because if you don't get the 100% chance in death proof, and that is a nice buff to get on him if he's taking a lot of damage from enemies. For the basic, we have a skill called Smash. So with this, when Hulk's health is below 50%, you gain a fence up. This offense up buff, as long as other characters didn't have it, would actually mean that he's got the highest damage rating in the game, and you attack one single target for a huge 300% damage when it's maxed out. The only thing that changes as you're going up in levels for this is actually the damage it does, not the chance to gain a fence up. So it's all about whether or not you want to put a lot of resources into Hulk and have him hitting harder if you want to spend the materials there. But I would mention as well that although it does a huge amount of damage, we need to remember Hulk's attacking very slow, so he's not going to be doing it that often. For his special then, we have a pretty nice skill here. This is Rage. It takes 3 turns to charge and starts fully charged, and as is the case with I think all protector classes, the special skill is the one that provides the taunt. So it's 1 turn, you have the taunt for. At max level you clear all negative effects from yourself, you heal for a whopping 7,000 health, and if your health is below 50%, you heal for another 10% of max health. So that is a really nice skill. Now with this, I would only take it up to level 6, because the only thing that changes is that you'll clear 3 negative effects rather than all negative effects, and there's not really that many times where you'll have more than 3 debuffs on yourself unless you're really unlucky, that is. So go for level 6 for this particular ability. For the ultimate skill, we have one that if you can get this particular skill off, if he's not slowed down or stunned, it can be a bit of a game changer. This is called Leap. Now it takes 6 turns to charge, and it comes with 4 charges as standard. With this, you attack the primary target for 330% damage and adjacent enemies for 260% damage. You want to make sure when you're using this that you're using it when the particular enemies get other characters near them, so the AoE will hit them. Also with this skill, when your health is below 50%, as we've seen with most of the other skills, you get a modifier, and in this case you multiply the damage of it by 1.5. Regarding how far you actually want to go with upgrading this particular skill, the difference between 6 and 7 is 70% damage to adjacent targets. I probably would upgrade this to the max if Hulk is a character that you are focusing on, but what we'll do now with the abilities covered is we'll check out his synergies. When it comes to characters that Hulk can work very well alongside, we've got 2 Avengers here. So you've got Captain America. One of the reasons he works great is he will actually give Cap an additional 5% block chance, but in turn there's a chance that he can provide Hulk with energy, and he can also give him defense up, which he doesn't have in his kit, and that's always useful for a protector. We then have Black Widow, and I would say, to be honest, if you've got Cap in a team, it's vital you have Black Widow or Merc Lieutenant. You need someone with speed up, because without it he's just far too slow, and you can't rely on his health dropping down to get it. It's just a no-go. He'll be stunned and he'll be out of the game before that point. Now, regarding him being stunned, a character that can work well if he is locked down with a stun or a slow is Jessica Jones, because she actually can remove debuffs from an entire team. So that's an option to think about there. But next up, we'll look at the characters you want to avoid when you're playing as the Hulk. When we look at the teams that you want to avoid going up against as Hulk, this all really revolves around his slow attack speed and how the other teams can take advantage of this. So if you have a team that can actually apply slow to him, you can get him to the point where the enemy team can take 2 to 3 turns before he's even got a chance to move. So notable characters that can apply slow and they're really powerful out with that would be Korath and Quake. You also have Black Widow and Spider-Man that can be really dangerous to go up against. The reason being, they've both got stun in their kit, and if you've not got Jessica Jones, you've got no way to clear that stun. You need to wait till the next turn. If he's slowed down, that's it. He's out in the match altogether. And to be honest, when I'm running against a Blitz or Arena team, if I ever see Hulk, I'll pick that team, because I know when I've got Black Widow in my own team that I've locked down one of their characters straight away and they're not going to be able to do anything. So it essentially makes it a free win there. But what we'll do with all that covered now anyway is we'll see where he places on the tier list. For the tier system then, I broke this down into 5 different ratings. Now your most powerful characters appear on the left as mega characters, and as we go from left to right the characters get weaker till eventually they're way down at level 1. There's no one there yet, but Scientist Supreme, whenever I do get round to her, will be filling out that particular area, if that's not too much of a spoiler there, and apologies to any Scientist Supreme fans if there are any ones out there. But in regards to Hulk's rating, where would he sit? So I would say that he would be a level 3 character, because he's got some great positives, but he's got some pretty huge negatives as well. So you've got the huge health pool, which is great for a protector class. You've got the huge amount of damage he puts out, which is fantastic for a protector class. But none of this actually really matters if he's slowed or stunned and his taunt removed, because then he's doing nothing. He's just sitting there and you're basically down a member. If he's slowed or stunned and his taunt is still on him, then that's fantastic. The enemy will keep attacking him. But there's so many characters now that have cleanse that can remove that taunt, and it means he's just going to be dazed for the rest of the match until you eventually whittle everyone else down and get round to him. So that's the reason I would say he is a level 3 character. I'm hoping it does see a rework in time, because Hulk should be a higher level than this. He should be alpha, if not a mega, to be honest. So fingers crossed we see something there. But as always, I hope this video was useful. Next up we'll have 4, which will be in the next day or 2, so keep an eye out for that. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.